Hello comic book fans, this is your host, Travis Collins, aka Duck Punch, and as always, I'm here with another episode of Duck Punch Comic Reviews. Today I've got 4 books up. We're going to dig through them. Today we're talking about Action Comics number 892. Amazing Spider-Man presents American Son number 4 of 4. Batman number 702. And Astonishing X-Men number 35. As per the norm, we jump right on into the things. Here we go. Action Comics number 892, written by Paul Cornell with art by Pete Woods and Pere Perez. Now, I really want to like this story arc. I think I'm supposed to like this story arc. But the sad truth, I'm not liking this story arc. Lex Luthor is continuing his hunt for the power of the Black Lanterns, which he believes is left over from the end of Blackest Night. This leads him, along with a team of scientists and the one and only Slade Wilson, to Antarctica, where they do in fact find a reservoir of Black Lantern energy. The energy, however, does some very interesting things with emotions, and things soon descend into chaos. Through quick thinking and sheer gumption, Lex is able to survive long enough to learn a few things about the Black Lantern energy, but not before it vanishes into the hands of another supervillain. I really like Cornell's Captain Britain and MI-13 series from a couple years ago, so when I heard he was writing this story arc, I was excited. But since its beginning, this has been pretty boring. I get that he's trying to really capture the essence of Lex Luthor and show that it's even possible to root for someone like him. But I don't think it's working. At best, it's showing that Luthor will do anything for power, which we already knew, and at worst, between his obsession with the Lantern energy and the weird Lois Lane robot that he's keeping around now, this makes him kind of creepy. Woods and Perez share artwork on this issue, and it's pretty solid. Between the two of them, this is actually a pretty good-looking book. I get that Cornell is trying to tell a more unconventional story set around the Superman family, but all he's succeeding in doing is creating another attempt at villains as heroes, and hoping that it sticks. He's going to have to convince me that this story, in the long run, is going to matter. He hasn't yet. Okay, next up, Amazing Spider-Man presents American Son number 4 of 4. Written by Brian Reed, with artwork by, get ready for this, Felipe Briones, Chad Hardin, Wayne Foucher, and Steven Segovia. 4 artists. This has been a fun little story that, while probably not important in the long term, still deals with the fallout from the big storyline from last year, Norman Osborn's Dark Reign, more than almost any other title has thus far. Gabriel Stacy, the bastard son of Norman Osborn, and the aforementioned American Son, has officially gone batshit crazy and is attacking everyone who gets in his way. So he can kill his brother, or half-brother, Harry. While Spider-Man is largely spending his time just trying to make sure no one else gets fried by Gabriel's shenanigans, Harry must outthink his insane sibling and survive the towering inferno that he has created. The issue ends with some foreshadowing of possible threats to come. I generally enjoy work by Brian Reed, and this story was largely decent, if again, not very impactful. With 4 artists working on this, however, you would think that the art, at least, would be stellar. It's not. It's not bad. It's just kind of okay. Nothing to be really wowed about. This book is what it is. For people who read Marvel for all of last year and the first quarter of this year, this is a solid story that focuses less on the superheroes and more on the background characters, especially those in Spider-Man books. For novices to the Marvel world, however, you can probably skip this one. Alright, next up, Batman number 702, written by Grant Morrison with artwork by Tony Daniel. Oh boy. It's no secret that I think Grant Morrison is a hack. So I approached this issue with a lot of pre-existing ideas about what I would be getting myself into. It's nice to know that some things in life are constant, including Grant Morrison's inability to give any sort of answers in one nice issue. In the second part of Grant Morrison's explanation for what precisely happened to Bruce Wayne between the events of Batman Rest in Peace and the end of Final Crisis, we see how Bruce Wayne was involved in the final battle with Darkseid. If you read that miniseries, then nothing here is really all that new. Though being told from Bruce's perspective, we are treated to some very long-winded explanations for how everything bad that ever happened in Bruce Wayne's life is actually Darkseid's fault. The end of the issue ties back into the current Return of Bruce Wayne miniseries and into Batman and Robin number 16. Whatever. I mean, can we please be done with this time-traveling, myth-building, meta-narrative whatever that Grant Morrison is trying to turn Batman into so we can actually get some honest-to-goodness Batman stories? I mean, I know that Grant is trying to expand the consciousness of his readers, but really all he's doing, as far as I can tell, is just stroking his own self-importance. It's annoying. On the other hand, art-wise, Tony Daniel can always draw a mean Batman, so no complaints on that end. At the end of the day, this book is the main reason that, come November, I'm going to be dropping most of the Batman titles. Morrison's vision of Batman is at once both boring and utterly confounding. In his effort to tell a story about a man confronted with forces beyond his comprehension, he has instead turned the Dark Knight into just another just another Morrison story. Blah. Last up, moving on to something, I don't know, I would say better, but not really. Astonishing X-Men number 35, written by Warren Ellis, with art by Phil Jimenez and Andy Lanning. Now, as the episode from last night, or was it this morning? I can't quite tell. As that episode showed, I'm a huge fan of Warren Ellis. But the biggest problem I've always had with him is his inability to get anything out on time. So this book, which was supposed to be out in April or May, is finally here. And it... wow. The X-Men, along with Abigail Brand, the head of S.W.O.R.D. and Beast's girlfriend, have infiltrated the mysterious Kaga's base and are fighting their way through his monstrous living weapons and ever-present goons to confront the man who's been using the bodies of their dead former teammates against them. What they find instead is a fellow mutant who has some very interesting reasons for what he's doing. And then it, well, ends. Now, after last night's episode, you would think I would be incredibly excited about this book, and I was. But then I got to the ending, and I was woefully let down. I actually had to look around to make sure I wasn't missing pages or something. It's kind of like watching the last episode of The Sopranos. There's stuff happening, good stuff, and then BAM! The end. No falling off, no denouement, just the end. Jimenez and Lanning, that Lanning, the Lanning who does all the cosmic Marvel stuff, do good work here, though I still personally like Bianchi and Cassidy better on art, but that's just me. For a series that had already moved on to another story arc before this one was done, we call that Astonishing X-Men Xenogenesis, this one ended pretty badly. In a rarity for me, I have to give a Warren Ellis book big thumbs down, which kind of makes last night's episode kind of embarrassing. So there you go, guys. 4 books. Gonna have 12 more we're gonna review. Not everything's gonna make it onto the review docket. Just too many to do. But hopefully, I'll have another episode tomorrow. As always, leave comments, let me know what you thought, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.